This is a podcast about standing up to bullies. In fact, that's a lot of what I do as the Health Ranger, publisher of Natural News, is standing up to bullies, whether those bullies are Monsanto or the pharmaceutical vaccine bullies, the science trolls, they're all bullies. Just vicious, malicious, liars, horrible, evil people. But that's not what this podcast is about. This is about a much broader category of bullies. And we can start with school shootings because it turns out that in almost every case, the shooter was someone who was bullied. Yeah, I know you didn't think this was going to go there, did you? But they have many things in common, these school shooters that we've seen over the last several years. They're bullied, they're usually an outcast, and that's probably a result of some of the bullying. They're not part of the popular crowd. You know, the popular kids in school tease them and bully them and, smear them and probably do that all over social media as well. So they're being dehumanized by their classmates. The same classmates, by the way, that when the shooting happens, what do? They blame the NRA. You got to wonder how many of these kids were bullying these shooters in a very cruel manner. It doesn't excuse anything, of course. It's just one of the factors. The other factors are these kids, these school shooters, usually they have some kind of fascination with death or dead animals, and they're always interested in weapons. So guns and knives, or grenades, rocket launchers, all kinds of stuff that they're always interested in. And by the way, the deadliest mass school killing in America was carried out with explosives, not even with a firearm. So when people want to commit mass murder, they find lots of different ways to do it. But getting back to bullying, I believe that every child has a right to grow up in a world where they are not bullied for any reason. I mean, whether they are, let's say, mentally handicapped. There are many children who are autistic due to no fault of their own, or some may be mentally retarded due to no fault of their own. They might have been born with a birth defect due to exposure to toxic chemicals during gestation. Their mother may have been subjected to chemical contamination. There may be genetic defects caused by chemical exposure, pesticide exposure, heavy metals, mercury from flu shots given to pregnant women cause spontaneous abortions. And when they don't cause abortions, they may cause damage to the developing baby. So there are many people, obviously, who are born with mental handicaps or physical handicaps. There are people who are born who maybe they're teased because of their looks. Maybe they're too short or too skinny or too ugly or too whatever. Students can be cruel to each other. And this bullying that goes on is, it's a very emotionally devastating thing to children of that age, especially in high school, where social conformity seems to matter so much and fitting in seems to matter so much. Bullying is devastating. It makes kids feel like they would rather die, but they also want to destroy others on the way out. It's like they just want to destroy the whole world because they feel bullied. And so if you really want to stop school shootings, you can talk about guns, but that's not the issue. Why would someone pick up a gun? Why would someone pick up a knife or a baseball bat or use a car as a weapon or a bomb as a weapon? And the answer is because they feel like the entire world hates them and that they have nothing left to live for, and they would rather die and destroy their haters as they go out. Now, what we need to do is we need to identify and reach those kids. And I've even been thinking about this. I wonder if there's some kind of a nonprofit effort where we can go to teachers and say, hey, who's the kid, who's the loner in this class? Who's the outcast? Who's the one that's bullied and teased by the other students? We need to reach out to those kids and show them something special about why their lives matter and why they have something to contribute to society and why they are valuable to society. I think that would be a very worthwhile nonprofit effort, kind of like a mentor to these kids who are the outcasts of society. and prevent them from becoming so hated and so filled with rage that they feel like they want to destroy their classmates and teachers and everything else. And I think that would be a very worthwhile effort. I'm going to think about that idea some more and see if there's some way to contribute to something like that. It just seems like a worthwhile effort. You know, the truth is a lot of these outcast kids are people who have unique gifts to offer the world. And they may be bullied for lots of reasons, you know, for their looks. Maybe in the years past, they might have been bullied for their sexual orientation. Maybe a lot of gay kids were bullied, no doubt, you know, in a couple of decades ago, although now they're probably crowned like homecoming king, you know what I mean? If you're LGBT in a high school today, you're probably celebrated. So I don't think that's a bullying issue certainly as much as it used to be. But there may be other issues. You might be bullied because you're white. That has happened. There's a white kid that parents are suing the school district on exactly that point. You might be bullied because of your religion. You might be bullied because of your race, your skin color. You might be bullied because of the way you talk, or maybe you have a lisp or something. Maybe you stutter. There are lots of reasons that people can be bullied. And so often young kids judge people on what's on the outside rather than who people are on the inside. So I think it'd be very valuable to reach out to those people, those kids, and find a way to show them the value that they have to society. Now, moving on, this bullying goes on in the adult world too. So many so-called left-wing journalists are bullies, and they use their journalism to unfairly and viciously attack people who are trying to defend the Bill of Rights, or independent journalists, or like people like myself who are telling the truth about the mercury that's in vaccines. You know, we get attacked and bullied all the time by left-wing journalists. So the bullying continues to adults. And the left wing, the Democrats in America are the biggest bullies of all. They bully you with their political correctness demands. They demand that you speak with their selected, approved words, gender pronouns. They bully you when you have a Halloween costume that's like you're wearing a Mexican sombrero and they don't like it. Oh, it's cultural appropriation. Or if you're a I don't know, an Asian kid wearing dreadlocks in school. Now it's cultural appropriation of Jamaican people. Or you're a white girl doing yoga. Oh, it's cultural appropriation of Indian people. And it's just ridiculous. So the left bullies everybody all the time. And the left loves celebrating bullies. They have these transgender male wrestlers now that ground and pound and beat up girls wrestlers on the girls wrestling team in high school, and these male wrestlers win the state championships. This just happened in Texas. It's a transgender male now who's on testosterone and has male physique, you know, male muscles and everything. It's just like you can see photos of him with girls and doing a chokehold on girls on the wrestling mat and winning champions. You know, I mean, winning championships. And it's absurd. This is bullying. You're going to let young high school males wrestle with females against the girls' team and call them a champion? Really? That's stupid. And that's the kind of bullying that the left is engaged in all the time, the social justice bullying. Look at how Black Lives Matter, by the way, which was a fake movement funded by George Soros. It was contrived. It wasn't really about helping black people. It was about demonizing police and having a social justice cause. And what did they do? They bullied police, and they called for cops to be killed. And these same groups, they bully Trump constantly. They bully Trump supporters. They bully Second Amendment supporters. So the left is the big bully in America today. Jimmy Kimmel, late night TV. What is he? A bigot and a bully, a hate-filled bigot. His job is to spread hatred and to bully the right people. And he exploits his influence on late night TV to weaponize his audience against his intended political targets, who are usually pro-America patriots and people who love their country and people who want to defend individual liberties. But Jimmy Kimmel attacks them because he is the key bully of the left. That's his job, is to bully people. He is a bully, and he needs to be called out as such. He's a bully and a bigot. Now, there's an even bigger group that historically has bullied people, and that is governments. So throughout history, governments, when they gain too much power, you see this in, let's say, North Korea or Venezuela or communist China or even the European Union. When governments gain so much power, they use it as a weapon against the people, and they bully the people. And we've seen this, of course, in the United States over the last few years, how the Obama administration really bullied people, weaponized the IRS to go after Tea Party nonprofit groups, how they weaponized the EPA to have SWAT teams running around bullying farmers for having a little trickle of water on their land, and then the EPA would say, you can't grow anything here because it's a wetland now. No, it just rained, okay? But they say, no, it's a wetland. And the farmer's like, no, I just drove my tractor through here. It left some ruts. There's water in the ruts. That's not a river or a stream. That's just ruts with a puddle. And the EPA is like, no, that's a river. That's a waterway, and you can't grow anything here. I mean, that's the kind of thing that the government had done under the Obama administration. So just keep in mind that one of the key elements of living in a free society is to have a distribution of power so that the people have power to counterbalance government power, because governments are the biggest bullies of all. Governments have the power to arrest you, to take away your freedom. They have the power to tax you, to confiscate your wealth, to shut down your business. They have the power to silence you. They have the power to spy on you, to look at your emails, look at your protected private messages, to spy into your cell phone and everything that you've ever done. Governments have that power, and they use it against you. Generally speaking, governments are not ethical, moral organizations. So we have to be very careful about them having too much power. This is why smaller government is kinder government. And a smaller government is what we need in order to protect our freedoms and liberties. So that's just kind of a whirlwind tour there of bullying and why bullying needs to stop, and we need to stand up for those who have been bullied, and we need to help children who are being bullied, and we need to also, as adults, stand against the bullies who are bigots and tyrants and haters, and we need to finally make sure that governments do not bully us as they tend to do. So protect your freedom, take a stand for truth and liberty and honesty, and keep reading Natural News. My name is Mike Adams, the Health Ranger. You can read my articles at naturalnews.com or hear my podcast at healthrangerreport.com. Thanks for listening.
Learn more at healthrangerreport.com.
Thank you for watching. If you want to support our mission, visit us at healthrangerstore.com for the world's largest selection of lab-verified superfood and nutritional products for healthy living. It's at healthrangerstore.com.